Okay, odd one here. Got an email from a person who's wanting tips on the property photography business side. Normally I'd be like, yeah, that's cool, I'll give you some tips. However, he's wanting to know how he can get more of a market share of the work in my town. So he wants me to give him tips of how to get more work of doing the same kind of photography jobs that I do. So now a competitor is wanting me to tell them how to be more competitive. Here's my first tip for you. How about you go fuck yourself? Let me just read the email here. So it says, "Hi Dom, I've been following your work since I started photography around about 3 years ago. Newbie. And it's been quite helpful for me, so a big thank you. Don't care. I want to ask you for some advice. I'm not giving you any. Recently I started with real estate photography, but I'm finding it very difficult to get jobs on a more regular basis. Good. I spent hours researching I spent hours researching the market, the web to try and figure out what's going on with the real estate photography market here in Edinburgh, where I'm based. Guess where I'm based? Edinburgh as well. And it appeared to me that the main real estate agencies already have someone doing their photography, and others have interest in getting professional pictures done only for the more expensive houses they're selling. Do you think it's worth investing time and money to try and make a reasonable profit? Yes, spend lots of your money in real estate photography in Edinburgh. I have a website set up, don't care. I also have business cards, well done, and all that good stuff. Don't think it's that good. For now, I'm shooting my share of not so flattering properties, good, with the hope that sooner or later I'll get to shoot something better for my portfolio. Do you have any suggestions on how to get to shoot better properties? Thank you very much for taking the time. Hope it didn't take too much of your time. It's taking up way too much of my time. Thank you very much. End of video. Okay, first of all, cool. This is awesome. Don't worry, all that was just fun and games there. Luca, very much hope you do well in Edinburgh. Edinburgh is quite a difficult market, I would say. In fact, it's not just Edinburgh. If any of you are trying to get into the property market of doing real estate or property photography is what I call it, it's a little bit different from other types of photography. So in other words, it's a business structure where you're doing it client per client. So you either go to an agency, get the work through them. They tell you, we've got this house here today and this house there tomorrow. Could you go to that one? Could you go to that one? And then you do it all with the agency. The other option is you go to people who are selling their house or renting their house and put a flyer through their door and say, hey, do you want me to take some good photos of you? What I would say is that's probably not the best way to do it. I doubt that will ever really work. You've really got to go to the agents. But this is the thing I would say, is that getting agents on board is pretty you're fighting against a tide of people who just don't care. For example, if we were to quickly look at your photos that you're putting up are absolutely fine. I've got no issues with them. I don't think anybody would go, I'm not going to choose your stuff because your photos aren't good enough. Your photos are vastly superior to any agency that's doing their own stuff. But what you've got to remember is that there'll be some agencies which will just not realise the potential of good photos. They'll be going, oh yeah, just go along with my iPhone and take a photo and that's it. And in some cases, that is it. You know, some houses will sell straight away because they'll have it at a low enough price. But generally, if landlords or agencies, if landlords are trying to get the most amount of value out of their property, they will appreciate getting professional photos. If it's an agency which gets money on terms of like percentages of how much, so they want to sell the house for as much as possible, then if they're selling a house for 300,000, if they can sell it for an extra 10 grand because they've got amazing photos, then that's a lot of money that they're going to get percentage-wise back. So sometimes, the thing is, sometimes you're dealing with people who just don't see the value of it. It's a bit like if I went into a hi-fi studio and someone said, oh, this one's got amazing 252 kilobyte hertz sound qualities or something like that, I'd be like going, what does that mean? I'd have no idea. So like, imagine people with a great music system and somebody with no ears. It's a bit like that with property photography. You're going in there with amazing eyes. I mean, I know how to take a good photo of a house and make a room look big and warm and inviting. And you're saying that to somebody goes, I just want to see a simple photo. So sometimes it's a bit difficult to get the people on board, the agencies on board. And what I would say is there's a couple of little tricks I would say to help out there. What to do is for some agencies, okay, first of all, unless you are already working for a company, it's got to be difficult to get your foot in the door. The reason for this, which I'm doing a videos just now, I'm editing them just now, which will give a little bit more of an insight. But what I'm saying is that a property agency will 99 times out of 100 go with somebody who is already in their company and can take a slightly better photo than getting somebody completely outside of the company to come along and take professional photos. The 10% better of the photo that a professional can make isn't worth nearly the amount of danger of having an unknown come into the company, picking up keys, going around to properties and all that kind of potential client hazard. Not that I'm saying that a photographer is a hazard, but in some cases, many companies, they'll go, okay, we've got this random person who we don't know, he doesn't work for us, he's just a contractor, and we're giving him keys to very valuable properties. And it's not the case that they're thinking you're going to go in and steal stuff, but it's the case of what if you go in, you take all the photos, that's fine, and then you leave. What if you leave a light on and that light suddenly burns into the lampshade? Or if the landlord comes back and goes, why are all my lights on? You've forgotten to turn it off. Or if you've not locked the door the right way that they've done it. There's so many kind of like potential landlord fuck-offs. You know, landlords will go, oh, I'm so fucked off that you've done this. That they just going with a contractor is a pretty dangerous, or it's not preferable compared to just getting somebody who works for the company. You know, if it's somebody that works for the company that's in the office all day, they can just say, could you go back out and turn off the lights before the landlord comes along? And they go, oh, whoops, totally forgot, sorry about that, and run out. So that's the other thing I would say. In a lot of the cases, the majority of professional property photographers who work for agencies have done so from being in the agency from well beforehand. So that's a little bit of a tricky one there. The other option I would say that you can try is there is the idea of giving it away for free, or to put it no, doing the photos for free, and then saying if you want to use them, you can pay for them. So with some agencies, say, look, I'll go out and take some photos. If you don't like them, absolutely fine. You don't need to use them. I'm totally cool with that. I will go through the effort of picking up the keys, driving out to the place, paying for the parking, taking the photos, driving the keys back, dropping them off, all that kind of stuff. And if you don't like them, absolutely fine. I'll just head off. But what you could say is that, but if you do use them, and if you do think they are better, then here's my rates. If you want to do me on a day rate or a per property rate, or even per image rate, you can organise that. So what I would say is have levels of what you're wanting to offer different agencies. So some agencies will have no budget. Other agencies will go, give us your budget, that's cool, we'll pass that straight on to the landlord. So they'll just go, landlord, here, so what you offer will then suddenly be what the agency offers, whether it's a rental agency or a sales agency. So if you go, I can offer the basic, the medium, the advanced, the professional or whatever, that kind of stuff, then the agency can just go, cool, landlords, we've got a house, we've got a photographer, you can do it for 20 quid, 50 quid, 80 quid, or 200 quid. What's your choice? So giving people options of what you can do, and giving them that opportunity of, if you don't like it, you don't have to pay for it, but don't use it. If you use it, you can pay for it. And the last thing I would say is One company which I do know that is looking for photographers is a company in Edinburgh, McEwan Fraser Legal, who seem to be winning awards all the time. This is a funny company though. They're in Edinburgh and their photos are good, I like them. But a wee while ago they put up some big adverts saying, "We do not do videos." Almost in a way of promoting the fact that they're so good at selling houses that they don't do videos. But yet they do loads of videos of all kind of like testimonials and success videos and location videos, but not property videos. I find that really odd. I think what that is in Edinburgh there's another agency which just really annoyed them in some way. So again, it may be the case that you're coming into an industry where other people have been in it and fucked people off. So you've got to tippy-toe around as much as possible and be on everyone's good books. Yeah, so like look at all, there's hundreds of videos here. And it's all testimonials, but none of the actual properties. It's an odd one there. I don't quite get that one. In their recruitment, just now, there was just something on the radio recently as well. They're looking for web developers, night shifts, contract photographers, Edinburgh Lothians. So there you go, straight away, there's a job there waiting for you potentially. So I hope that helps, and all that stuff at the start, absolutely fine, but just advise that you are in an industry where you are having to prove to people who don't really care how good or how much better your work is, or how much better their product is than whenever they use your stuff. In fact, to the point, I just I randomly got a Facebook message from a person who works in Malaysia or Thailand, can't remember. One of those places, I can't pronounce the names. And he was saying that his work totally went downhill, not as in like the quality of his work, but the actual, the amount of work that he was getting out there was just rubbish because people are just, so many agencies are just doing iPhones or iPhone with a little wide adapter on it kind of crap. But he's saying now, in Thailand or wherever it is, they're kind of going, oh yes, we've got a European photographer taking photos of people's houses. Aren't we prestigious? Come and advertise your properties with us. So again, it's something which you can say to whichever agencies you are marketing yourself to, hey, you can start telling your clients you're using a professional photographer. So they can actually say in their marketing material, which they send out to landlords or potential landlords, they can say, we are putting in that extra effort by using a professional photographer to get professional results of your property. But again, you've got to persuade the agents to really be on your side and to realise the benefits that you can give to their company. But I would say it's a case of, it's easier if you're already in the company in some way, or if you know somebody in the company and just trying to get kind of cold call business is a bit of a difficult one just because there's so many risks involved for both the clients and the landlords. So there you go, hope that helps. Cheers, bye-bye. Also, just a little bit of self-promotion at the end of that video here is just to let you know I've got 2 other YouTube channels on the go at the moment. One which I've just recently started is called the Dom Talks channel, where generally I'm doing current news affairs and things that pop into my head. For example, how I think I might be a little bit crazy and I have thoughts inside my head which I can't control, or talking about the recent Copenhagen Zoo killing of the giraffe. So things like that are going to be going on in that channel, so if you want to head along, I'll put the link to that down below. And also on the other stuff that I do is an exercise channel called Dom Bauer Exercise, or it was my original photography channel, but I've now turned it into full-on kind of exercise and nutrition channel where if you see the kind of transformation when I went from a fat photographer to a little bit more ripped, you can see the transformation that I did and some of the exercises and challenges which I give in terms of doing exercise and trying to make physical activity a little bit more fun. So check those out, subscribe if you can, and tell your friends. Cheers, bye bye.